Hi everyone, it's Janet and welcome to my channel SugarShine Designs. Today I'm going to make this card for you using the new Hats Off Mr. Stamp and Die set from Art Impressions. This set comes with many different hats and accessories so you can change his look, but today I'm going to focus on the chef hat and grilling. So first let's take a look at the card and open it up. You can see it almost opens accordion style and it's quite large. And on the back is where you can put your sentiment and write a message. When it's open, it kind of has this box shape in the center. And it's just really interesting, a different and fun, fancy fold. So we're going to start making this card out of two pieces of cardstock. This first piece, the larger one, is going to be a measurement of 9 by 5.5 inches, and I'm going to score it in several places. The first is 1/2 inch. The next score is going to be at 2 5/8. The next one will be at 4 3/4. And the next one at 6 7/8, or in my case, since I can't do that on my board, I'm going to flip it over and actually score it at 2 1/8. So you can do either way on that one. Then I have a second piece. That one is 4 1/4 by 5.5, and there will be no scoring needed for that since it's going to attach to my card base. So I'm going to start by putting in the folds, and starting on the right side you're going to have a valley fold, then it's going to be a mountain fold, then a valley fold, and then a mountain fold. So again, it's just every other one, starting with valley on the right, then mountain, valley, mountain. Fairly simple. You can see all the folds laid out here, and if done right, it looks like a zigzag when you look at it from the top, and fold it all together, it will compress into that 1/4 panel size. Now there is an additional step we need to do, and that's just to cut in a slit, actually 2 slits. And you'll want to do that again between the first and third fold line, and it's going to be approximately 1 5/16 inch from the paper edge on both the top and the bottom side. This will allow the centerpiece to kind of pop out, and that will give us more real estate to place our card top elements on. Now this is a lot easier to do if you have a cutter in this style where you can see the measurements and you see where exactly your blade is. Alright, so now when you fold it together, it's going to look like this with that bump coming out of the center. And that's what gives it that sort of boxy shape in the center as well. Now I'm going to attach the last piece of 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch cardstock that I cut. You really need to do this just because the whole piece extended is going to be more than 12 inches. So unless you have some really long formatted paper, you're going to need to cut 2 pieces and glue them together like this. So next I'm showing you all the matted and cut pieces that I'm going to be gluing into my card base. I have all these measurements in my blog, so just go to my video description, follow the link to the blog, and there you'll find all the measurements for these pieces inside, and also for the measurements on the scoring and the whole thing. I'll have it all there for you. So no need to feel like you have to write any of this down. So the paper that I used, or the decorative paper in this card, was a piece of scrapbook paper that was in my boys section of my stash, and it just talks about being unique and daring, extraordinary, one of a kind, that sort of thing. And I thought it fit really well for the style that I'm working on today. This is a masculine card celebrating the grill master of the house, which could be either my husband or my stepdad. Both of them claim the grill as their domain, especially for those summer evenings when we're out barbecuing. I had a Father's Day card in mind when I made this, but it would work well for a birthday as well. So you can see that boxy look in the center and how large it is when you open it up. It really is a nice presentation and very different from just a typical card. So next I cut out some decorative paper and some background paper using the circle double stitch dies from Art Impressions, and I'll put that together. And then let's take a minute and look at the star of the show, which is the Mr. in the stamp set. Now he has a lot of accessories like this spatula, and I've also taken a craft knife and opened up his fingers a little bit so that I can put that spatula in his hand. So I'll just glue that in place. I've put a picture up to the left to show you all the different accessories and hats that you can put on the Mr. character. The hats and all the accessories are stamped and colored separately and then placed on the Mr. character itself. So that's what I've done with the chef's hat, and of course I picked the spatula in this case since the theme is grilling. Now that hat is just slipped over the top of his head, and the included dies that come with this set cuts the slit in the hat so you can just slip them over the head. Now this fellow I colored with Copic markers. I'll leave the colors also in my blog post for you. And I just want to also point out that I put stubble on his face, but that is not part of the stamp set. So if you don't like the stubble, it's not there on that stamp set. So just FYI there. All right, well, now I can secure the Mr. to the circle that I created and then secure the circle to the card base. So first thing is I'm going to attach the hat onto his head so it doesn't come off. That just requires a little dab of glue and then slipping the hat back on. And then I can put the glue on the back of the Mr. I just need to pay attention not to put it too high or too low because I don't want glue hanging over the excess of the circle. In other words, I don't want the Mr. character to be glued completely down onto the card base. I want his legs and the top of his hat to be free at this point. So I'm just going to put that in the center and just double check on the back to make sure that there's no excess glue, and if there is any, to just take it off with my fingers. I noticed that I could probably use a little more glue to hold that hat in place, so I put that on. And I just think this looks so cute on this pattern paper. It is just perfect, isn't it? So I'm going to attach this circle with the Mr. on it using double-sided foam tape. This is very easy, of course. The only thing is that I want to just kind of check it out and make sure that there aren't any foam tape pieces sticking out or visible behind him. When I held it up like that, I could definitely see where I could put my foam tape pieces so that nothing would show. So I'm going to apply all that and then take the backing off, and then I'll apply it onto the card. So half of the foam tape is going to stick on the right side of the card where it juts out basically because of the card fold, and the other half will be on that first quarter panel. And it makes for a real unique look to the card. It looks like kind of some fancy matting, which really it's a lot to do with how the card is constructed. So I picked a sentiment from the stamp set that says "well done," which is a great wordplay on the grilling theme, don't you think? And of course the punny sentiments are nothing new. It's kind of a hallmark really of art impressions. Most of the sets have some really cute punny sentiments with them. They always seem to have a bit of humor, and I so appreciate that because, boy, if we don't need humor any time in our lives, I think the last year shows that humor is a really good thing to have to share with people, because we all need to smile a little bit more. And it's getting better out there, so I think there's more smiles on the way. But in any case, I added a few flat back black pearls to this just to give it a little bit more texture and some shine. And now I'm working on the very, very back panel. I used the largest Art Impressions rectangle double stitch die for that. And you can put a sentiment on there like I did, and it's definitely the place where you'd write on it and give it to your recipient. With that, I'm finished with my tutorial today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm so glad you stopped by to see it. If you did like it, give me a thumbs up, please comment, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Again, thank you very much. Have a great week, and I will be back soon with another video for you. Bye now.